welcome back to the Audience Circle podcast. I'm Tammy Minershagan, the chair of the Frisco Arts Foundation, and I'm so excited that you are joining us today for this episode where we are going to be talking to Craig Hall. So Craig Hall is really, his name is synonymous with innovation, art, philanthropy, business, and I'm actually sitting at Hall Park right now. Our Frisco Arts Foundation office is right here, and you can see one of the pieces of art right outside my window as well. It's a 162-acre park, and it's actually kind of like an outdoor and indoor museum of art. You'll see over 200 pieces of art, both inside and outside the buildings, and it is all accessible to the public. It is at every one of his residences, as well as at Hall Arts in Dallas and the 2 wineries in Napa Valley. You really can't visit Frisco without seeing the impact that Craig has in the entire city with this art. So I'm so excited that you're going to get to hear directly from him about his passion for the arts, as well as the redevelopment happening at Hall Park, and of course, the Performing Arts Center. So before we bring Craig on, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about his background. Craig is the chairman and founder of Hall Group. Mr. Hall's career in business as an author, civic leader, and philanthropist started at age 18 when he formed Hall Group in 1968. Today, Hall Group's portfolio of work includes commercial real estate, development and management, structured financial lending, winemaking, and more. Craig consistently contributes time and resources at local, national, and international levels to support a variety of community causes with an emphasis on art, education, and entrepreneurship. He has a long list of accolades, including the prestigious Horatio Alger Association for Distinguished Americans, was inducted into the North Texas Commercial Real Estate Hall of Fame, and Craig and Catherine Hall were honorees at this year's H. Neil Mellon Award dinner, recognizing their service to the North Texas community. So we are thrilled to have Craig with us today. I'm going to add him to the stream now. Hi, Craig.
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great.
So let's start at the beginning. People know you as a developer, an entrepreneur, a trailblazer, and of course, art. So where does that passion for the arts come from?
My mother was an art teacher and an artist, and art touches us in a way that makes us happier, makes us more content, improves our quality of life dramatically. So when I started to use art in our commercial buildings, I had no belief that it was a good thing for business as much as I thought it was a good thing to share. And I think it's actually turned out, though, to be much better than I expected, in the sense that in addition to sharing, it's been something people really enjoy, and that's probably been good for business. So it all works together.
Yes, definitely. Well, we can't imagine what Frisco would look like without your stamp of the arts. And I know that, 20 years ago when you were looking at Frisco, it did not look like it does now, but you chose to come here and create Hall Park. And art even then was not an afterthought. So can you tell us a little more about the vision behind Hall Park in Frisco?
Yeah, actually, it was more than 20 years ago. We bought the land that Hall Park is on in 1989, and even after we built the first building, which was started in 1997 and finished in 1998, we still had a cattle farm there. So looking outside my window was longhorns. So very Texas. And we designed the original design for what today we call Hall Park was Hall Office Park, and it was intended to be a great office park. So we took those kind of fields that the cattle were riding around in, and we made lakes, and we landscaped it. But as time has gone on, we realized that the world has changed, and really mixed use communities where people live, work, and play are the future. And so that's caused us to rethink things starting around 2017. We got a lot of input from people all over the world about what our best examples of the future, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mm. It's already such a beautiful place, and people have enjoyed it. Just even those who don't office here, during the weekends, and homecoming pictures are always taken out here at Hall Park. But now you're going to be redeveloping, and it's a $7 billion investment. There's so much change happening. Can you tell us a little bit more about the redevelopment?
Well, what we're doing is we're combining different uses. We will have, in the first phase of what we're doing right now, we're building a 19-story residential building. We're building a boutique, wonderful high-end hotel. And then we're building 60 luxury apartments that will be perfect for somebody moving their business from California to Frisco and wanting a place for their executives to stay for 3 months, 6 months, or whatever, while they find homes in Frisco, and find that they have just made one of the best decisions they could possibly make for their business to come to Frisco. And then we're building a 420,000 square foot office building, the first redo here, but that's all going to be around a park that we're actually giving to the city. So we're a venture between the city and Communities Foundation Texas and us to build a great park. It'll be similar to Clyde Warren Park in Dallas, only with some other bells and whistles they don't have. And then the Performing Arts Center, which is really the final phase of the public parts of this. But so it'll be a public-private mixed-use development, and kind of the opposite side of where the Cowboys are. And I think, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have done a great job on their development. And so this is going to cause that wider, greater area to really work well together.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I do love the concept of the visual corridor of sports and arts right across from each other.
Absolutely.
Well, regarding the Performing Arts Center, yes, it's incredible to see the partnership come together with the City of Frisco, the voter-approved bonds from the city and the ISD. And I don't know if everyone is aware that there's actually 2 theaters that have been approved within this project. So there's a smaller community theater, which is about 250 to 350 seats, that will help our local arts groups finally have somewhere to go and rent and perform in Frisco, which is so exciting. And then there's the larger theater, which is the student first programming theater with the ISD, about 180 days a year. So your contribution of land and capital, 10 million, is very significant. It shows a huge passion for this project. So can you tell us a little bit more about, why you feel it's so important to support this project and your vision for it as well?
My hope and vision is that we don't want to do something like a lot of cities that's just sort of a utilitarian, dull building. We want to do something that this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And we want to do something that the citizens of Frisco can be proud of. And that's the goal. And that's going to require significantly more resources than currently are budgeted. And hopefully we'll get some big companies. We're not asking for the money we've contributed to have naming rights. We think there are any number of companies that would, I think, really benefit from having naming rights, and also like us, feel that they have got a lot from Frisco and should give back to Frisco. I think there are families and companies that hopefully will step up and be part of this. We want everyone who is interested to come on, join us, and play a role.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Jeff had called it the People's Project, and that's exactly what it is. It is, people, the voters who've asked for this for decades, and then those who can come in and really help get to the finish line. 67 million does sound like a lot of money for folks, but those who are not familiar with construction and pricing, and the fact that some bids were done earlier and now it's after COVID, can you give us a little insight on that from your perspective?
Well, I'm not an expert in Performing Arts Center costs, but I do know that construction prices in general are really escalating post-COVID. I think that, again, the first step is to hire the architects, and that's in process. And then with the architects, you can start to get an idea of costs for performing arts centers today. And the architects that will be hired are people who are experts in this area. So it's a little premature to say what the total number needs to be, but I do believe it's going to be considerably higher than the initial budget. The ISD has they have a major piece of this, and they have a major commitment to making sure that their students don't feel overwhelmed by something that's too big. My sense is there's ways of making a building that really fits their needs, fits the community's needs. And again, the architect as a first step on all that. I think the study that was done seemed very helpful and interesting for the longer run needs of the community. Mm-hmm. And again, the hope is that we'll figure out realistic ways to do something that's world class. I just think it'd be unfortunate and very disappointing to not do something that all the citizens and everyone who's worked so hard to make Frisco a great place would be proud of. And mm-hmm. We got the PGA, we have Dallas Cowboys. We need best in class everything.
Absolutely. I look at the project with all of the history of it. I mean, really a 20-year plus project, and it feels a little bit like an abandoned orphan that was alone for a little bit, but now has some hope and potential. And really, as a parent, you always want to give your kids the very best opportunities to grow and be and to grow into that potential. And I think this art center, it's the same way. There's so much that could be done. People say, well, Frisco doesn't have an art center, it's just a sports city. Well, it's not. The people are here, and we've got the data to show that we really can support an incredible facility. So I am excited that it's going to be here at Hall Park. What better place to have the home for the arts within another home for the arts.
I love it here, and Frisco, I think, is just a fabulous community. I can't say enough about the officials, be it George Purefoy, Ron Patterson, dealing with the mayor. Jeff Cheney is just, he's critical of the leadership of what we're talking about, the Performing Arts Center. It's really going to be the leadership of the mayor and then the school board. I think one of the reasons companies locate in Frisco is because of the great schools, and again, they have an eye on quality, and so it's a huge factor to have great schools. It's a huge factor to have citizens that are so committed, and it is a really unique having a business that we've worked in 47 states and been in a lot of different communities, and I just think Frisco's the best in the world. So I'm a big fan. And I'd love to see this Performing Arts Center be a great tribute, and the park that's going to be in front of it. I think the park is going to be exciting to see. There's nothing like seeing a place where people of different socioeconomic groups, different races, religions, everybody comes together and plays together literally in the sandbox in a park like Clyde Warren Park. One of my favorite things is just to watch how disparate different people who might not agree on politics, might not agree on much, they all enjoy having their children together playing and having their dogs being in with other dogs. It's just a great experience. So we're going to have that in Frisco pretty soon.
Absolutely. I mean, isn't that really the power of the arts, is bringing people together?
Absolutely. So, and making, as you mentioned earlier, all the photographs we have now already of weddings and graduations and things, sharing the moments that are important in your life with art, it's going to take it to a whole new level with the park and the Performing Arts Center. We're very excited to be a small part of it.
Well, you're really a big part of it, and really the beginning part of it too for the city. So a final question for you is, what is your secret to success? And do you have a piece of advice that you live by?
Yeah, well, I just hearing your introduction made me tired. I don't know who wrote that for you, but I have no secret of success. I feel like a very lucky person. My business, I started not with the idea that I was going to be in business. In fact, I was doing it because I bought a rooming house because I thought students who lived in rooming houses were being unfairly treated by landlords, and I had saved $4,000 from age 18. My family had no money. I didn't come from money. I just feel like our country is a great, great country, and one of the best things that ever happened to me was when I moved to Texas, and I just think that we ought to all make sure we have opportunities for young people to realize whatever dreams they have and work hard. And I know in my life, I've made so many mistakes and had so many tough times and things that I learned from. And now all I can say is you learn the most from difficult times, and you just kind of get up and brush yourself off and keep on going.
Right. So I just want to thank you so much, and on behalf of all the citizens, truly, for being a champion of the arts in Frisco and changing the landscape for the future. So I truly hope that the project, both the park and the Performing Arts Center, can be the diamond that it deserves to be here and for generations to come. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Tammy.
And thanks everyone for joining us for the Audience Circle podcast, and we will see you next time. The piece of art that we keep seeing on these renderings, what is it made of? Who is the artist? The details?
Sure. The artist is Janet Eckelman. There's 6 different large poles that will hold up this kind of netting, and it's actually meant to be 2 different flowers. And one of the things we're doing is we're planting milkweed, which monarch butterflies will eat, and then it will help save monarch butterflies who are almost extinct. So the sculpture, in a sense, is a tribute to this idea. We're trying to help as butterflies come through Texas. They're going to be attracted to come to our area to eat the things that will help send their predators away. The predators don't like the butterflies that have eaten milkweed. So anyway, so that's
wow.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It's a detailed story to that.
Yeah, no, and I've seen that you're making honey on the campus too, over at right by 6801.
I had some last night. It's very
That's great. Well, I didn't know that part. I'm sure those who are watching did not know as well.